brand new banger.
It's Knucklehead Comics Tuesday. It's fucking Tuesday. We got Lay in the building. We got Cap in the building. Cabs can't make it tonight, but he's here in spirit on Lay.
My man, just chilling, brother, chilling.
What's up, Cap? How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Is that and the father goes shamefully? That's my son. And the other guy goes shamefully. Orion goes, that's my father. Choose fear and hate to run your life. Something you can't do. That was wrong with me from the beginning. I was doing it that way. I was gonna go down that path. I worried.
You thought it was Grayson?
Sorry, got hurt. It's like not him. Not him.
Crack his brain for somebody, anybody that can help, and remembers. Freeze.
The media.
Randall Savage.
Randall Savage. With his knowledge and all other shit and his capacity to learn.
Absolutely.
This is the only vegan I'll ever eat is grilled chicken wings, because that's like vegan to me. You know what I'm saying? Because the chicken wings are supposed to be fried, but you grill the chicken wings, you put it in some sauce, and give it some blue cheese.
Is vegan.
That's vegan. Like regular moo cow fuck milk, put it in some Honey Nut Cheerios, vegan, because Honey Nut Cheerios is good for your heart. You know what I'm saying? And I steal the question from Cabs.
I got it right.
I would also like to steal. I would also like to steal. I would also like to steal.
You're too late.
Wow.
I stay loose, I stay hype, I stay loose, I stay hype, I stay loose, I stay hype. I could do this all night, cause I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right. And I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. Cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go. Yeah, they know I'm a pro. Let's go, let's go! Yeah! Let's go! Here I go, I get lit, I get hyped for this shit! Right.
Word. He be like, I got a left elbow and a right elbow. I can break your face with an any elbow. Make sure that you get elbowed in your elbow with an elbow. Got the arm ball, get the phone ball, get around with the bomb ball.
Daddy's gonna take you to Jersey Shore.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's fucking Tuesday night. You know what that means? Knucklehead.
That means show's gonna interrupt by talking to people.
Word, I'm muted me still talking shit. It's Knucklehead Comics. We out here in the building. I'm still feeling under the weather. That's why you get this picture of me instead of for the picture of me moving and shit like that, grooving. But what's going on, Cap? What's going on, show? And Cap, the name 39 kind of relates to tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't. That's my little homage, because I don't like to talk about or celebrate or anything. So that's all you get.
Word. Tomorrow is his birthday.
Something to that effect.
So we're going to get everybody to wish you a happy birthday when they come in. That's why Show left. Show went to go get the pistachio steak that you wanted so badly.
He said pistachio steak. That's how much steak is on your mind. Even when you're sick and thinking of other people, it's all steak.
That's it. What can be better than steak at a time like that?
Anything.
Well, you don't eat cake no more, so.
Yeah, but we'll see. Dude, so you remember I was showing you that I had bought this shield, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to, much like with the helmet when I paint it black, I'm going to paint the center part black. All right, I'm going to tell you why. Because, let me just put it up here. In the comics, that is one of the variations of his shield that he has.
Oh. That's actually kind of dope.
Yeah. So a little more comic accurate, even though I'm not 100% going to be comic accurate. It's going to be, you know, a fun little sweatsuit take on it.
Hey, but fuck it, it's gonna work. It's gonna look good.
Yeah.
Shit, I still haven't did anything towards my costume, but let's see. We gotta have money first before we can get honey. So
yeah, I got a brand new credit card specifically for Ren Fair and this shit.
shit, my credit cards are like, oh yeah, please add more to this shit because you ain't never gonna pay these. So I heard a little some news from the Supreme Cinephile. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not.
No, never heard of them.
Well, apparently they said, and I quote, Deadpool 4 is in development at Marvel Studios and Hugh Jackman will reprise his role as Wolverine.
Well, that coincides with, I don't know how true that is, but it does coincide with something that I've heard. I've heard rumors that the next X-Men, or not the next one, but the Marvel official X-Men will not have a Wolverine because they still have Hugh Jackman tagged to play him in an unknown quantity of films. And they're not going to replace him while he's still active. They also said that this Wolverine that we got is not going to die the same way that original Logan died back in his movie.
Okay. Well, shit.
There's also another piece of news where I don't know where these guys are getting their information, but another site, another channel had reported that Shang-Chi 2 may have been canceled. I haven't found anything saying that it was canceled. I did find things saying that it's still in development, but now it's more questionable because the director of Shang-Chi is now doing Spider-Man. But I would just imagine that they would just go find another director.
Yeah, I don't think they'll cancel Shang-Chi, especially when they're battling Armor Wars and Blade. They need something.
Yeah. Speaking of Blade, Bo DeMayo made news calling Marvel horrible and all that other shit, but he was saying that he had a script for Blade that they turned down that would have made Blade Dread. If anybody's seen Dread, not the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd movie, but the one with Carl Urban as Dread.
Yeah, like the Raid.
That movie was inspired by the Raid. It was just him in a fucking apartment building fighting everybody.
Well, apparently
So that's what Blade would have been. It would have been Blade in a building fighting vampires.
Apparently he leaked the synapse of it. I saw that. It was basically, here you go. Oh no. Shit. Yeah, he leaked the script or something, and it was basically he was gonna go raid style down a thing, killing vampires and all that other shit, which would have been fucking dope.
Would it though?
I mean, depending on how you, it would have mimicked the nightclub scene.
Yeah, the only thing that
And besides, if there's ever a horde of anything, it's zombies and vampires.
That's true. But the only thing I had in my head was we've lost so much originality that in a movie about a fucking dude who's part vampire, part human, can walk in the daylight, hunts vampires down, uses a cool sword, has a cool look. The best option for a story with him that we have is, hey, you remember that movie that came out 4 or 5 or 10 years ago? Let's just do that shit again. That's what I heard. I was like, damn, we can't. There's nothing. Nobody has an original idea for this motherfucking movie. It's either shit or let's just Fuck it. You know what would be cool? Let's do the first Matrix again.
You know, I think Blade should have been. Well, damn, they can't even do that because.
Well,
I was gonna say, Blade should have been chasing Spider-Man, and it had Mephisto, not Mephisto, Morbius in there. You know what I'm saying? But
kind of like
Sony fucks everything up with that. So yeah, you can't do that.
Yo, if this was,
I want to know.
Good.
I want to know why he was at the end of Eternals. If he was talking about that sword, the symbiote sword, or whatever that sword is, I want to know why he was there.
Because I think they were gonna tie in the Black Knight. Originally, it was supposed to be almost like a buddy cop thing, where Blade was gonna help him discover his family's history and where the Ebony Blade comes from, and a whole bunch of other shit, and it ties into vampires. And he was supposed to become the Black Knight through that movie. Fuck, there was something I was gonna say.
Well, before you say that, Tom Welling says that he is still disappointed that Batman never showed up in DC Smallville series. You know, not to change the topic from Marvel to DC, but
nah, dude, we talk about everything.
James Gunn is the catalyst for a lot of DC TV shows to be mad because when what was John Cena's character?
Peacemaker.
When he talked shit about the Green Arrow, Stephen Amell was on an interview with Chris Van Fleet or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, and he was like, "Yo, for them to say something like that about Green Arrow, it was like, you know how hard it is to play a superhero that has no powers for 23 episodes a season." But also, when you think of the DC universe, you don't think of the Snyder Cut. You don't think of you think of the Arrowverse, which, to be honest with you, is true because they did more shit in the DC universe in the Arrowverse than they did in any other fucking thing besides the cartoon movie. And Stephen Amell was like, "Fuck you."
Yes. Now I agree 100%. The Arrowverse did more with the DC characters and storylines and all that shit. Where I take issue in is Peacemaker was talking about the Green Arrow. Stephen Amell played Batman. So I don't he's clearly the Arrowverse was not in the Snyderverse. So his Green Arrow is not the one is not you, Stephen. And you are not even truly the Green Arrow. For anybody who knows Oliver Queen, come on.
But I mean, I could see him and all these guys taking exception to them because not for nothing they were the best iterations. Like, to be honest with you, Flash was the best TV show that the CW had, and he should be the most pissed off when they talk about the CW Arrowverse because he was as close as the Flash is going to get.
Yeah, dude, and honestly, if I'm Stephen Amell or Grant Gustafson or whoever else, Melissa Benoit or Benoit, however you say it, I would honestly be laughing my ass off every time they try to talk shit. Because I'd be like, oh, you're talking about the movies that failed. And you're trying to talk about the TV shows that succeeded.
The word.
Like, fuck off. Like, if I'm Grant, yeah, that should have been me on the screen as Flash. But it wasn't. And that's the best you had. Sucks to be you.
Yeah. at the end of the day, yeah, that you picked the wrong person and you wrote the wrong script and you told the wrong story of these characters. It's crazy how we have 42 million versions of Batman and the Justice League only gave us a good Batman. Like Cyborg was okay, but he wasn't a standout character. The Flash was just a fucking little kid. Wonder Woman was
not
good
even
in her
the
first
extended cut.
Yeah.
Like they give Cyborg way more to do, and he's still not.
Yeah, he doesn't do nothing.
Cyborg is better on he's on Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
And he's better in there.
Because we lost all of that humanality. Because I know he's a cyborg, but that doesn't mean he's a fucking unisoldier. You know, he has to have some kind of human nature to him.
Yeah.
Where we can connect with him as a cyborg.
Yo, I'm telling you, the biggest problem with DC is the fact that they are more mythological. They're more godlike. Even in their low-level guys. Like, look how much pathos Batman has compared to any other fucking hero. And then you pair him with Zack Snyder, who lent in to the fucking mythology of it all. And they push the fucking relatability so far out that they're almost unrecognizable. And as opposed, you get to Marvel, where say what you want about the quality of the movies, every single hero that you see on screen is relatable. You might not like Captain Marvel or Brie Larson, but the shit that she's struggling with is the shit everybody's struggling with.
Oh yeah. You can definitely see it. You know, that's and the thing is, this is why I say you gotta take from the fucking historical documents. Because you could tell a story and be like, oh, we're going to tell an original story. Why? There's 400 years of The Flash. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell one of those stories. Adapt one of those stories into the movie so we can be like, okay, the people who grew up reading it knows exactly what you're doing. And then switch it for the movie to make it a compelling story. But no, everything needs to be 100% original. And then you just, the only thing you did was make an original character because you stripped everything from it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Flash is supposed to, like you said, he's the glue that keeps the Justice League together. He's the one that sacrifices himself all this. He's the Spider-Man of the Justice League, right? If I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? And he does a lot of shit in the DC universe with, joining the Lantern Corps, the fucking Speed Force, this, that, and the third. There's so many different iterations of the Flash and so many different speedsters and all that other shit. It's like you could have shown someone that is relatable in a place that is like, this man has to make up for the one time he was late.
Dude, I know that, again, to Toe's point, we got Ezra Miller in the original Justice League movie, who was a young kid, loner, didn't know what he was doing, bumbling, scared, just like hadn't grown into it, right?
Yeah.
But you strip out, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if it's in the Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, but there's an episode where one of the Flash's villains is sitting in a bar. And the Flash comes in.
I think that's Justice League Unlimited.
It probably. The Flash comes in and doesn't fight him. He doesn't try to arrest him. He walks up and goes, "Hey, buddy, did you forget to take your meds again?" And they have a conversation about why it's necessary for him to take his meds. And he has so much compassion and empathy for this dude and is actually trying to legitimately help. Now, yeah, I understand that you wanted to catch the Flash before he grew into that. But that's innate within
You always
him.
have that.
Yeah. You don't start out as a bumbling idiot and then turn into that. Like, that's always something that's in you.
Yeah, that's something that you see good in people. You try to be like, why is he doing this? You know, that's the question you ask. Why is he doing this instead of he's doing it? Fucking, we gotta punish him. You know, and shit is funny because the story that I have is kind of relatable to that with the Hulk and Spider-Man.
Oh, before you get into that, the point I was gonna say with just to cap off Blade.
Yeah,
I honestly think that since Marvel likes to do genre bending, Blade should be Marvel's first horror movie. Marvel started with the fucking horror comics, with all the classic horror villains. Blade should be the first horror movie in the MCU.
I thought the original Blade was a horror movie.
Nah, the original Blade is more action.
You know, but when I was growing up, I thought that was a horror because it was vampires. So you know, you see the monsters, you think it's a horror movie. But yeah, you know, why not? Or you know, Blade could be a reason for the man thing to show up.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, the Wolfman and
yo,
all those other things. Because not for nothing, you already opened us up to a world with those stuff in it.
yeah.
He doesn't have to be connected straight to the MCU. He could be a part of it. And just, Doctor Strange already opens up the multiverse. Why not the different types of shit?
True. The Midnight Suns can take care of all the shit that goes underneath the radar. Remember, what did Falcon say? Or what did now Captain America say? It was robots, aliens, wizards. And what was the other shit? That was like, oh, they only
Witches.
4 types?
Witches?
Yeah, that was the wizards. Wizards, robots, aliens, and something else. But he didn't mention vampires, werewolves, goblins, ghouls. Like, there's a whole underlying shit that somebody has to be taking care of. Somebody has to take care of while everybody else is dealing with Thanos. And of course, you can bring them in to face Thanos too. But in the meantime, while the Thunderbolts are doing whatever they're doing, and while Sam is trying to reunite the Avengers, and Shang-Chi is trying to figure out if he's got a movie, and Sony's trying to fuck up Spider-Man, while all that's happening, there's a horror underneath that's bubbling up that can be quenched by Blade, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Black Knight, if you want to put all the Knights in there. Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block. LA Knight. Whoever the fuck you want to put in there.
So it's only the big three. Androids, aliens, and wizards.
All right.
Because Ultron's an android, Thanos is an alien, and Loki is a wizard. Which would have been all the Avengers movies.
Yeah. So you can go ahead now with your story time.
Shit, so I don't know how the fight started, but it was a fight between the Hulk and a Hulk version of Spider-Man. And this is towards the end of the fight where the Hulk goes, "No, this all belongs to me," and he starts taking the energy.
Before you start, there was a certain point in the comics where everybody was turned into a Hulk.
Are we getting raided?
I don't know. I don't know what this K thing is.
Oh yeah, we got 500 viewers on Kick. What's going on, everybody?
Hey,
yeah. Hey, welcome.
Welcome in, everybody.
I'm feeling a little under the weather. So yeah, so the Hulk and a Hulk version of Spider-Man are fighting each other, and the Hulk takes his gamma radiation from him, and he says, "This all belongs to me," right? And at the end of the fight, they both turn into Bruce Banner and a human form of Spider-Man. Spider-Man reaches in his bag and he hands Bruce Banner pants, and Bruce Banner goes, "Thank you," and he goes, "So now I get it. To hold in all that rage and all that violence and everything like that, it must take a toll on you." And he goes, and Bruce Banner's like, "Yeah, it does take a toll on me, but he has to do it." So Spider-Man goes, "All of the Hulk is out of me. I don't feel it anymore." And Bruce Banner goes, "I feel it. I still have a little bit in, and it's creeping back up." And you can see him, like, he doesn't have the fight to keep the Hulk out. So Spider-Man puts his hand on Bruce Banner and goes, "Don't worry, you don't have to be alone. I'm here with you." And Bruce Banner turns back into the Hulk. When Bruce Banner turns back into the Hulk, Spider-Man hugs the Hulk. And the Hulk goes, "Peter, what the hell are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm giving you a hug because I understand what you go through and you don't need to be alone." And he goes, "Wait, did you just call me Peter?" And the Hulk goes, "Yeah, you made the world forget. Banner forgot. I don't forget. I know who you are." And Peter goes, "Yeah, that's what I needed. A rampaging beast to know my identity. No offense." And the Hulk goes, "None taken." He goes, "But you did the one thing that I couldn't do. And Banner's my family and I love him. You couldn't be, I couldn't be with him. You was able to be with him." The Hulk starts walking away and goes, "Peter Parker, you're a good man. I'll remember that the next time we meet." And he walks into the sea. And it's just like that part just made me go, why can't they show shit like this in the movies? Like, people don't realize that the comics have a deep message in everything they do. And a lot of it gets cut out for the movies.
Yeah, because that's unfortunately what happens. We get the Marvel style where very rarely do they stay within the dramatic moment. Every dramatic moment is almost immediately undercut by some sort of
Bro,
attempted
I'm in the
comedy.
middle of telling a story. You want me to read the chat while this is a podcast, bro? And plus, it's going by 14 people. There's 25 million emojis. You want me to read the chat? Listen to the story. Go ahead. Yeah, I see your ass. I see all y'all.
For everybody just joining, welcome in. By the way.
Nah, you don't get special treatment. There you go, my bad, King. Nah, you come in here, show respect. Spider-Man isn't gay.
What?
This guy right here, Peter Pirate.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
So, like I was saying, the Marvel, the way they do it in the movies, everything almost immediately gets undercut with some sort of attempted
If you
humor.
show respect, then you came into my place. You know what? Yeah, good.
Yeah, so I would love it if they allow shit to breathe. Like, perfect example, when Moon Knight came out, they had that one scene where Steven is sitting there and he had missed the date by a few days because he had switched back and he was doing some other shit, and he asked the dude for the steak, and he didn't know how to order the steak. He just like, "Yo, just give it to me, whatever you got," and he just sat there in that moment. That's the kind of shit we need more of. I think that's the shit that's missing. I mean, shit, we brought it up how many times now? Even in Deadpool and Wolverine, that scene in the car, where Hugh Jackman goes on his great fucking monologue, and instead of undercutting it with a joke, you see the weight that those words have on Deadpool, and they hold on it, and then it gets into a fight scene. Like, they don't try to undercut that. That's the shit that works. But for some reason, they try to go too much with the jokes, and it kind of makes everything not as serious.
Yeah, but when you do have that moment, everything is quiet, so it can be serious.
Yeah, or an Endgame when they're all mourning Natasha, and they're like, "Yo, could you have done something?" And Clint's like, "Yo, you go talk to him. You go talk to the fucking red dude."
Yeah. It because that was one of those moments that he had to blow up like that because he was the only one there, and he's like, you don't understand. She's gone. She's gone, and it's because of me she's gone, and I
Yeah.
couldn't do nothing to stop her. And now you
Yep.
people are talking about some bringing her back shit when they said she can't come back. You know what you do get, Nas? Big fat fucking band. Fuck you. All right. Well, yo, listen. I'm sick. Now you want to come talk shit. It's beautiful. I got a bag full of band. I can do all this all day, motherfuckers. You don't understand. I'm a grown ass man. They ain't children here. They're not children here. They're children on your mother's face, but they're not children here. So, so speaking of gay, I only make that segue because Aubrey Plaza says that Agatha all along will be a gay explosion by the end. And I think that's that has to be a joke because of the Star Wars shit, huh?
So, all right. Here's the thing. I have not seen any trailer except for the first one. I haven't seen any interviews. I haven't read any articles because I want to go into this with no expectation and no previous fucking notion of anything. Because this show has one of the best things going for it and one of the worst things going for it. And it's the fact that nobody asked for this shit.
True.
So that's one of the worst things going for it because a lot of people are probably not going to watch. But it's one of the best things because it has the freedom to be its own thing. And when we get to talk about who Agatha is, you'll see there's a lot more freedom in there. If I know Aubrey Plaza, not personally, but I've seen her in other shows. I've seen her in interviews. She is a very cynical, very like deadpan, not serious person. Like she's gonna say shit for comedic effect,
Yeah.
and give it in a way that like she's not joking, but she clearly is. Now, I have not seen her say this. I haven't seen how she said it or in the context of which she says it. But hey, like I said, I want to walk into this show with zero expectations, and I want this show to show me if it's good or not. So for this show, because we talked on end with fucking the Acolyte, I'm not falling for this shit. This is when we talk about the history of Agatha, you're gonna find out how little there is. This is a blank canvas character who doesn't have any fucking real ties to anything. With the exception,
she kind of she has one tie to somebody.
Yeah, she has one tie, but we'll get into that. But for the most part, really nothing there. And I mean, if there are diehard fans of Agatha, one, that's fucking amazing.
What up, Leon?
Two, I fucking doubt it. I doubt it because the most I've even read of her are the two things we're gonna bring up and seeing her in the Midnight Suns video game. So I'm not gonna fall in this trap of, oh, did you hear them say this and blah blah blah. This show is literally a blank canvas. At least for me. And by the end of it, let's see what the picture they painted. Because I'll tell you right now, and I'm going to use this analogy because I already said picture painting. If the picture is immaculate, is very well fucking painted, whatever, but it happens to use all the rainbow colors, that's not gonna deter me from saying how great the fucking painting is. Whether the show's gay, straight, but I don't give a shit. If the show is good, the show's good.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, I think they're gonna. This is gonna be one of those that they're going in a totally different direction than every other show. But yeah, I think this show is gonna be entertaining, and it might be one of those like this was good. We didn't need it, but this was good.
You know what I want this show to be? If I had a genie right now that I can wish on how good this show, I want this show to be like Little Shop of Horrors. If you try to explain Little Shop of Horrors to somebody, people who've never seen it, they'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" 3 women randomly show up to sing throughout the movie. It's a plant from outer space, but it's a Venus flytrap that eats people and he talks.
Yeah.
And it's a shop, like, what? But then you watch Little Shop of Horrors and you're like, no, this shit's hilarious. This shit is fucking good. Like, I've never met anybody who's watched Little Shop of Horrors and didn't like Little Shop of Horrors. That's what I want this show to be. Something that may, on the outset, be a little hard to describe what the fuck it is. But when you watch it, it's just zany enough. It's just entertaining enough. It's just good enough for you to be like, you know what? I can rock with this.
Yeah, because it doesn't need to be anything more.
Yeah. So, I know you're under the weather, and I know we normally time out shit a little bit more, but you want to get straight into the thing?
Yeah, we could do that. So the first 2 episodes are coming out tomorrow. But it was a review already.
So
Agatha All Along reaction.
Yeah, so there's been a whole bunch of first reactions because I don't know how people get this. A ton of motherfuckers have seen the first 4 episodes already.
Yeah.
So all their reactions are up, and I don't know if you want me to say what they are, or because I know you.
Oh no, yeah, you can say what they're because I see one, and one of them says that this shit is boring as shit.
So a lot of them saying that the show's good, right?
Yeah.
There has not been any negative reviews. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because they could just be picking out the good ones and not saying anything about the bad ones. All right, so take that knowledge with a grain of salt. But the one thing you could take is that almost every single one of them saying that it starts out slow. So if they're seeing 4 episodes and they're saying it starts out slow, then it has to be the 2 episodes that we're going to get that are probably going to be a little bit to get through. So that's the heads up to you, Toe, and to Leon, and to anybody else who's still watching from, what did you say? That was Kick?
Yeah. But this is the crazy shit is like, you have to know what you're watching. Like, what did you expect this shit to be? Like, just straight out, oh, we're going to come in fighting magic, all this other bullshit. She got her magic taken away from her.
Yeah, but see, there's a thing. There's a difference between a methodical pace where things unfold slowly on purpose to build suspension or build drama or build tension or build something, right? And just being slow. Because the perfect example, there are movies, I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but there are movies that are slow burns where you might not get to the exciting shit until the end, but everything is building upwards. It's slowly building upwards to that crescendo, and it's amazing. And then you get movies like Rebel Moon, which has tons of fucking action and tons of other shit, but it's slow as shit, boring as shit. Like,
yeah.
So the fact that they're all using the term slow is throwing me a little bit. But like I said, I'm gonna go in blank slate. I'm gonna let the show tell me what it is, and then I'll make the determination when we come back and review the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, listen. There's one thing that I've learned: you can't let other people determine what's going on because it may be horrible, but we have to find out for ourselves. Unless it's Venom, then we know it. Anything Sony touches, I'm not watching. But yeah, good.
No, I was just gonna say that. Seldomly am I on the other side of the fence when everybody's like, "Oh, the show is bad," and I'm like, "Nah, I'm in the camp of this shit is fucking awesome." I think the one time it happened here on this channel was with that movie Malignant.
Yeah,
where I was like, "Yo, Malignant is fucking amazing," and then we watched it, and you guys were like, "Vic, you're stupid."
Yeah, but it was one of those. This shit is so bad, it's amazing.
Not for me. I thought it was legitimately good. I wasn't ironically saying it was good. I thought it was legitimately good, but it got me. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe this would be one of those shows where everybody's like, whatever, and I'm like, nah, but I see where the threads are.
Oh yeah, I mean, if this is methodical, then I ain't got no problem with it. Because I like shit that makes you think. Like, yo, that was the one good thing about the Acolyte. It made you think. Every episode you watch it and go, why the fuck am I still watching it?
Yo.
I outthunk the fucking story.
Every episode. That's the only show. I think every episode I was like, yo, all right, let's think of 15 different ways we could write this, and you get the effect you're wanting without fucking it up. But I'm just a dude sitting in a room on a screen on YouTube. Like, what do I know about how to tell a fucking story? It's not like I've been reading them and watching them my entire life. Anyway, should we get into Agatha?
Yeah.
All right. So brief history, because ironically enough, her history is brief. She's a Marvel character about 10,000 years old. She was around before the fall of Atlantis. So before Atlantis became an underwater kingdom for eventually Namor and all of his people, she was around. Now, I had it explained to me that there's 2 different types of magic, 2 main types of magic in Marvel. There's the shit that Doctor Strange uses, which comes from specific people. The Eye of Agamotto, the Bands of Sidorak. And Sidorak is the guy who enchanted the gem that turned Cain Marco into the Juggernaut. And there's two other names which I can't fucking pronounce. Because, I don't know why everything's got to have such a weird-ass name, but he draws power directly from them to do his magic. Where Agatha, originally, she had what they call a universal magic, which was the Eternity. Which everybody, if you guys are still here, if you saw Thor Love and Thunder, they met Eternity at the end, where the God Butcher Gord was like, hey, you take care of my daughter now. That was the thing that they were standing in front of. So Eternity has just magical energy and essence that's just leaking out of him. He's or it, whatever the fuck it is. It's not doing anything. It's just radiating. And some people are naturally attuned to be able to use it. So it's not as strong as what Doctor Strange could do, but it's essentially the same shit. It's just 2 different ways of people getting it. they retconned it later on to now there's like one specific source that all the magic comes from, and it's not eternity. But anyway, so she was around 10,000 years ago. She lived through the Salem witch trials. She was about to get a whole bunch of fucking witches and wizards to rise up and kill everybody in Salem. They were going to fight back. But there was a Firestarter was sent back in time to get her to stop. The fight didn't happen. They moved to a commune in Colorado and put up a barrier that only magical users can see, detect, and get into. So if you don't know magic, you won't never find this place. She lived there. She had a son. Then she just fucking retired. She left it. She moved. She went upstate. Now, here's the first big part of her history. When she retired, the Fantastic Four came around. And they hired her to essentially become the nanny of Franklin Richards. This is back in the 70s. And she saw Franklin and immediately knew how strong he was. She had an inkling of what kind of power he had. And she protected him. She legit protected Franklin until circumstances came about and
He started bending reality, and they said, "Now we got to fix this shit."
yeah, so the Annihilator came and was trying to siphon the power out of Franklin. It backfired, and he lost control, and he blew up. That he didn't blow up, but his power fucking blew up. So Reed had to hit him with this nullifier to like kind of depower him a little bit. And when he did that, Agatha was like, well, fuck it. I don't need to be around here anymore. He's no longer in danger. Here's one of the funny parts. There was the Furious Four, or the Fearsome Four. They were Inhumans, I believe, who were the antithesis of the Fantastic Four. They came in to fuck everything up and get Franklin. They beat the hell out of the Fantastic Four, showed up to Agatha, and Agatha pulled one of those old school fucking action movie tricks where she's like, yo, you're not going to hurt an old lady, are you? And they were like, fuck yeah, we are. And she instantly, with a snap of her finger, took all four of them out.
And that's why they left Franklin with her.
Yeah. Yeah, they left her because she's super fucking strong. She trained a whole bunch of other witches and shit. So she ends her tour with the Fantastic Four. There's a whole thing with her son that really amounts to nothing. Nothing really comes out of it. Is her son tries to take over the commune, and he gets his ass handed to him. The next big thing with her is she meets Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. And this is her biggest claim to fame. She trains Wanda Maximoff, teaches her that she has chaos magic, teaches her how to control her magic, and sets her on a path that had her on a good run of actually being a hero and actually being a well-regarded member of the Avengers and the Marvel Universe as a whole. There was an event that was going on where Agatha was like, somebody was stealing her power, but it went awry and a little bit got into Wanda, and she used that extra power to create her children. That's where we get her children from. And at the time, the editor of Marvel didn't care. It was like, yo, this is a one-off story. Doesn't matter. Let it happen. A few years later, they had a new editor who was going back through and looking at things and saw that issue and was like, this is weird. So he implemented they're part of Mephisto. Mephisto takes the kids, absorbs them back into himself. Agatha wipes Wanda's memory. So she doesn't remember she ever had kids. So it'll calm her down and keep her normal. Well, we flash forward to the events of Avengers Disassemble, and Wanda's memory comes back, and she realizes she did have kids. And she's like, Agatha did something. Agatha changed my memory. She knows what's going on. She did something. She goes up to Agatha, kills her, then goes on to fuck up a whole bunch of shit. If you ever read Avengers Disassemble, they kill Union Jack. They kill Giant Man, or Ant-Man, I think was Scott Lang at the time. Like, she really fucked up the Avengers, and it was a tough time bringing her down. But then Agatha kind of just died out. Didn't do anything until about 2017. They kind of brought her back as kind of what she is in the video game, in the Midnight Suns video game. Just like a ghostly spirit that comes in from time to time, gave like advice and shit like that. And then they fully brought her back maybe, 2020 or something like that, like in the lead up to the WandaVision series. They brought her back to life. But that's essentially her story. She's a superpowered nanny, essentially. Which is why I say that this show has so much room to tell the story that it wants. Because they touched upon her shit with Wanda and WandaVision. So we don't have to worry about that. They already did that. And it wasn't too jarring, and it didn't break canon, and it was good.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything with Franklin Richards and the Fantastic Four. They're not here yet. So we don't have to worry about anything there. So we literally have a character with nothing to pull from, thus giving you the freedom to write whatever you want without worrying about how it ties into history. We just now got to worry about if you wrote it correctly, if it's good or not, which I think could be a strength to this show.
Yeah. So from what I got everything that you did of the Fantastic Four, but she mentions that she's been doing this shit for centuries, and because of that, she's stronger than Doctor Strange.
Yeah, like I said, 10,000 years she's been around. They changed a little bit of the shit because she now has, again, at first it was just those two schools, but then they added chaos magic and the Darkhold and some other shit, and like she's stronger in the fact that not only has she, like the Ancient One, she has more time with it, but she also has more subsidiaries to pull from. Because Strange only has the 3 or 4 entities that he has. So that's where she's stronger comes in. That's how it comes into play. So, do you have any questions?
It's just crazy how Doctor Strange is supposed to be the Sorcerer Supreme, but he's always considered weaker than somebody who does magic.
Well, the Sorcerer Supreme is a title. Like we do the wrestling shows around here. Jinder Mahal is a world heavyweight champion. Is he stronger than any other world champions? Was he stronger than the Intercontinental Champion at the time?
No, he wasn't.
Right? But he's still the fucking champ. So it's all, it's all just titles. And just because I think right now, I'd have to look it up. I think the last Sorcerer Supreme was either Blade's daughter or Magic. And for anybody who doesn't know Blade's daughter is relatively new. So I know that much about her. I haven't gotten to that yet. But Magic is part of the New Mutants. She was played by Anya Taylor-Joy in the New Mutants movie, but she's the sister of Pietro Rasputin, who is Colossus. She has magical abilities, she can she was sent to the realm of Mephisto and kept there by Mephisto and raised essentially in hell. So she's the queen of hell, can open up portals to and from, and she essentially uses her magic shit to do a little bit of like armor, and she has a dope ass sword, and she can pull out some other shit. She's a badass character. Again, if you played Midnight Suns, which apparently not a lot of people did because the game flopped, it's a very good game. Once you can get the grasp of the mechanics of how the card and the fighting system works, it's a very fucking good game. She's one of the better characters in that game as well. So is Agatha. Agatha has a whole fucking arc in there too.
Shit. Do you think we get to see some of that in this show? Because, like I said, she took her powers from her. She stuck her in the black and white shit. Like, she has to get something back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be some moment where she's not.
I'm assuming that the slowness comes into play because with at least the first 2 episodes, because I believe this is a 9-episode series. So they have room to play in the beginning. But I'm assuming that the slowness comes in the fact that she doesn't have her powers right away. So we're essentially ahead of her, in which she's trying to figure out what the fuck happened and how to get shit back. Well, we already know what happened, and we already assume she's going to get her shit back. And that's probably why, in my summation, again, I haven't seen anything yet, but it's probably where I think the slowness comes in. So within the first 2 episodes, I don't think we're going to see anything cool in terms of, scary witch does cool shit. But you were saying that the Disney witches are in this?
So, from what I understand, she has to go through all the myths. So, the Wicked Witch of the West and East are in this. Like, they have to go through, like, all the summations of the, like, I saw the Green Witch in this. I don't know the whole thing because I didn't want to get too deep in it.
Yeah.
But I know, like, she has to fight some of the witches. I think she has to fight the witch that Snow White fucking took the apple from or some shit like that.
Christ.
Like, I think that's one of I think that's how she gets her power back, where she steals it from them. Or she has, like, something happen and they put her in that shit. Because I know she has a team in this. Apparently, there's a group of them. So I don't know the exact reason and why, but I know that she's the Wicked Witch of the West and East are in this fucking show.
All right, so that is something I think they call the Witch's Road, is what she has to walk, which I think that might have something to do with that. Again, blank slate of a show. If this is going to be... See, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I had a problem with the Marvels for being the first time I ever felt like Disney made a Marvel movie. And if you're saying they're putting a Wicked Witch of the East and West and other shit in here, this might be the first time I feel like Disney made a fucking Marvel TV show instead of Marvel doing it.
I can see that, but
we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, you have this is the one where you have to make a new story for, because, like you said, she was introduced with taking care of Reed Richards' son, Franklin Richards, and she's she trained Wanda. Wanda's already dead. I did the quotation marks for those who didn't see me. She's more powerful than fucking Doctor Strange, apparently, and she's like the right hand person of Mephisto. Like, every time they say Agatha, they say Mephisto, and I don't see Mephisto coming in here, but I do see something with Dormammu and the next Doctor Strange movie that we never spoke about. because Doctor Strange is in that. Is it with Charlize Theron?
Yeah, with Cleo.
Yeah, so we got to see what's going on with that shit.
Yeah. See, this is the weird thing, and this is for anybody who, I mean, everybody who's still here who's new. I've been saying for a long time that Marvel needs to stop with all the interconnectivity, because now I think they've hit a point where, how long have you been asking for somebody to bring up the fucking hand in the middle of the ocean?
Shit.
And now we're getting it in Captain America 4. But how many years removed? It bypassed a whole bunch of other shit. We got Doctor Strange
4
3.
years.
We got Doctor Strange 3 teased with no fucking confirmation that it's being made. And no confirmation that we're even getting any fucking incursions happening.
Yeah.
Like Battle World and Secret Invasion and Doomsday. Like Avengers Doomsday can have all that shit happen in just that one movie. Thus undercutting what Doctor Strange 3 would have been if they made that solo. Then we had Shang-Chi 2, who the hand, what is it? The 10 Rings is going to come back. Maybe. Who knows? The original fucking Kang Dynasty treatment was supposed to be essentially Shang-Chi 2. It was going to be directed by the dude that did Shang-Chi, who's now doing Spider-Man. It was going to center on Shang-Chi having to pull everybody together to fight Kang, because I think Kang was going after the rings themselves or some shit, but that's not happening. So we find ourselves...
That beacon in space is fucking...
Yeah. Who knows what the fuck that is? It could be Fing Fang Foom. It could be nothing. Like they did... I feel like the first Infinity phase was more thought out, but also it came out in a time where fans were more forgiving. Because Thor 2, everybody hated, but it didn't deter people from watching Ant-Man or watching Endgame or watching any other movies that came out. And I feel like we're in a time now where Eternals came out. That turned people off, so maybe they didn't watch the next one. Thor: Love and Thunder came out. That was even worse, so people maybe didn't watch. And that, like everything now that comes out that's bad is just forcing Marvel to pivot. And every pivot they do gets them further away from what they had laid out for us all those years ago.
Well, because every movie nowadays is a fucking world ender movie. Like, once Infinity War and Endgame ended, Shang-Chi, he fought his father, who had the things. He wanted to unleash a fucking monster to come kill that realm and destroy all the universes. Then Thor Ragnarok, fucking hella wanted to take over the 9 realms. Fucking Ant-Man, Kang, he was stuck in the quantum realm. He wanted to get out so he could take over the fucking world. The only movie that wasn't like that was Guardians 3, because that had nothing to do with the world, but like the dude wanted to make a perfect planet. He wanted to make a perfect planet, and he needed Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, but again, even that was a personal story.
Yeah,
between him and Rocket. Like, Wakanda Forever was a personal story of grief and loss.
So every new movie has been the world's gonna end, and we need to save it somehow, and that gets frustrating. It's like, yo, I don't need to see this because there it is. But in the first iteration, it was all personal movies. We didn't see them get together in 2, into Avengers. Then they got together and they teamed up when necessary. They did Endgame. Now we have a whole bunch of new people, and it's like, well, Scott Lang can save the world by himself. We don't need Shang-Chi. We don't need Wong. Wong's in everything, but we don't need him right now. We don't need Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, you go do your thing. Spider-Man,
Who's Spider-Man? I forget.
yeah, there's 3 of you now, which we made a spell and sent everybody home, but we're gonna keep the 3 of you together for some reason. Fucking I'm Thor. We're just gonna take everything that we did off of Ragnarok and fuck it up.
Yo, I didn't think. The funny thing about Thor is I didn't think I can dislike a Thor movie more. Like, I was mad at Ragnarok. Because, like, yo, you took a serious thing, played it off for a one-line fucking joke. Like, it was secretly Planet Hulk. And then Thor Love and Thunder comes out, and it makes Thor Ragnarok look like Citizen Kane.
You know, yeah. You know what's crazy? Because I watched Ragnarok again. When Hulk was in the planet, Shakar, he was a fan favorite. No one was scared of him. He was a celebrity there. But also what he had there that he didn't have in the Avengers was a friend. And that was the Valkyrie. Like, he literally trained with her. They played around. They had joked. They ate food. Like, that was his genuine friend. And he made mention to that with Thor. It's like, you don't like me. You like Banner. Oh, I hate Banner. Blah, blah, blah. You only want me to smash shit because that's all I'm good for you. Is I'm just a fucking hammer that needs a nail. You know, basically. And when he's chilling with Thor, and Thor's in the Quinjet, ready to go home, Hulk destroys the Quinjet, and he's like, friend, don't go. And you can see that Hulk himself was looking for friendship, companionship. And when he sees Natasha's face, everything goes awry, and he starts turning into Bruce. But you hear the Hulk go, Banner, no! And he smashes into the plane, destroying it, and then he turns back into Banner. Where it was like, don't take this away from me type shit. And Banner was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is the first time I felt like we weren't together. Usually we're driving them things together, and he was all by himself. And then when he wanted to get mad during the New York City scene, the Hulk was like, no, fuck you. You people only see me like this. No. So I think that the best thing for them to do with the Hulk is if they go to Sakaar and he finds out that shit gets plumaged by whoever, you know, is going to fuck them up. That's when the Hulk disassembles himself from Banner again and becomes almost a savage.
World breaker.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only place that he actually found comfort and
apparently
belonging.
he does have a son. We're bringing in the son.
Which that I don't.
Which
the
is funny
timeline is also fucked up.
He has 2 sons and I believe a daughter. So I don't know why they just went with the one, but
and the timeline is fucked up. Yo, is it me or does it look like there's a wind stream right next to the show?
It's the reflection of light off his back window.
Oh, because I was like, yo, that's how fast are you going, show? See all the wind.
He's got the top down and the wind is just flowing through his bald spot.
His aerodynamics. But yeah, I think that would be dope for the evolution of the Hulk, because the Hulk has a very dynamic story that they're showing, but they're not really telling. And they're also going with it in the Avengers Assemble, which I would say give it a watch.
The cartoon?
Yeah.
What is it? From what I remember, it wasn't that good.
Well, I'm on season 3 and shit, but I know you saw the episode where the Winter Soldier was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's more episodes. I think you know, it's still like a little kid shit, but there's certain episodes that I think you will enjoy.
Well, there's two reasons why I would go back and try to watch it again. And that's because the voice actor for Thor and Black Widow. It's Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey. I know maybe if we still got people watching on Kick, maybe you guys know who they are, maybe don't. They're talented voice actors who've done cartoons, animation, video games. They also do Critical Role, which I bring up a lot, which is D&D live play show. But Laura Bailey is the voice of Trunks, young Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. Travis, of course, Thor. He's done a whole bunch of shit. Do you know the what was that movie with Batman and Superman where they had their sons together, Jonathan and Damien? Had that 3D-ish kind of look to it. I don't know if you saw that one, but Travis Willingham was voicing Superman in that. I'm trying to look up. I think this is I think what's her name is. I'm trying to look up Aubrey Plaza's character. I think she's playing a new character because I don't find anything associated with her character's name and Marvel. Which again, clean slate or blank slate, I should say. Let's see what they're gonna paint on this canvas. Joe, I don't know if you could chime in here. Nope, he froze. So, Joe, you got any expectations or anything with the?
Well, I was gonna ask you, could this show hurt or help the MCU, or do you think this is gonna be something that's like,
all right,
we're gonna?
In reality, this show should only be able to. Well, let's not say in reality. In a perfect world, this show should only be able to help Marvel. Because if it's bad, it's irrelevant. Who cares? Everybody assumed that. If it's good, hey, Marvel's got another win under its belt. It's got a little more momentum. That's in a perfect world, where the only two options are nobody gives a shit, or hey, this is better than we all thought. But unfortunately, in the world we live in, already I can see it already. I don't even have to fucking do a search on YouTube. There's probably 15 videos on why it's bad that Agatha is the gayest fucking whatever show Marvel's ever done. If that's again, I don't know how she said it or in what context, but if those words came out of her mouth, there's probably 15 fucking YouTube videos about it already. So this is only going to do harm unless the show is good. Because if the show is good, then nobody can say shit about it.
Yeah. Which I think she said that just to be funny because she knows she has to have heard shit going on with Star Wars.
Yeah.
And all that other shit. And
then
why not fuck around? Why not poke fun? Because
I mean, like I said, that's what she does.
Yeah, but you know what I see? Because she's a part of a series that got really good after the first 3 or 4 episodes. To some people. Like I like WandaVision, the entire series, but some people had to like struggle through those 4 episodes. She's a part of that show. And if they keep anything, from the old school shows, the shit gets better. And if you want to make this shit like a movie, then it's going to start off slow and it's going to end crazy. Because what do we remember the most? The ending. You know what I'm saying? Like because like Loki, you remember it started off strong and then it got slow and then it got bad and then it got good. What you said? Yo, what you say?
I was checking my
mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Yes, we can hear you.
It works. What's up?
Yes, we can hear you.
You wanted me to chime in? What you want me to say?
If you had any questions or anything.
But Agatha
my
all
apologies.
alone.
When you said that, Agatha all alone. Agatha, this is the lady in WandaVision that was driving her crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's the only question I had. Thank you. Back to the show.
Hey, fuck it. It's a question.
Ladies and gentlemen, if anybody's still watching that show, the cornerstone of this entire network. Without him, none of this is fucking possible.
Word.
So that's something that I wanted to bring up.
Good.
So that's something that Are you listening to us as you're trying to chime in? Just shake your head.
I think we're on his speakers and it's over. It's so loud that it's going into his mic because we hear echo on us.
Yeah, I just figured it out. How to talk and listen to y'all, but it's too loud. You're right.
Did you just say good night?
So what I was going to bring up is Agatha for the most part, she has been a good guy.
Yeah.
But she has been a good guy in a way that she's one of those things where it's like, hey, we don't have a babysitter. We couldn't find a babysitter in time, but our neighbor said that they're going to watch the kid. And you're like, her? You're going to pick the old bitch who screams at everybody in the fucking neighborhood? Who hates it when kids run by a house? Who doesn't put out no candy in fucking Halloween? Turns out to be the sweetest lady ever, but she just has that demeanor where you're like, this is our hero?
Yeah.
Who the fuck's the bad guy?
I mean, shit. Sometimes that makes the best hero because we get to see the story arc.
Sometimes it's gonna be interesting. Do we know what time they're coming out? Because normally they like to drop them. Like, no, I'm surprised it's coming out on Wednesday. Normally it's coming out now as we're doing the fucking podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a. Let me fucking look.
Dancing with the Stars just wrapped up its first episode of season 147.
Oh, shit. So it will debut tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Jesus Christ. So we're not even going to get to watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, because of the...
We're going to watch it on Thursday.
Yeah. But, so, here's some shit. So, show, what you missed was Agatha, her debut in the comics, she was the babysitter for Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards is the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. And the thing was like, yo, why are you gonna bring your kid over here? Aren't we safe enough? And she goes, we need somebody that's gonna be out in the outskirts that no one knows about to protect our kid because, you know, right now we're still saving the world. So until we stop saving the world, we need somebody that could watch this kid. So there's a possibility, which we're already saying we don't think there's a possibility, but there's a possibility that at the end of the show, someone from the Fantastic Four can be either mentioned, introduced, or shown.
Now, is there a possibility? Yes. In my summation, that would have to take A, the show being absolutely fucking beyond shadow of a doubt good, and B, the foresight for Kevin Feige to be like, all this shit is gonna tie perfectly in a fucking bow, which we don't know what the show is gonna turn out to be. But I can guarantee Kevin Feige was not thinking about that shit when Bob Chapek, the former guy who was in charge of Disney, turned around and said, "Yo, just give me any show. People like that song, make her a show."
So this show was made off of somebody else.
This show was commissioned when Bob Chapek was the head of Disney, and he was in the mode of, we just need to flood Disney Plus with as much content to bring viewers, to keep viewers, to get subscriptions. And again, Agatha was not something they had in the pipeline. That Agatha All Along song was something that was popular. And he went, yo, people like that, make a show. And as much, as much pull as Kevin Feige has, he is not the sole proprietor of what happens in Marvel. So if the upper heads and the upper management want something, he's got no choice but to do it sometimes. So this is one of the old regime pipeline stuff that's coming up. But again, it could be good.
Yeah.
We don't know. I'm not going to... like I said, I purposely stayed away from anything, so I won't prejudge. And let's see what the fuck happens.
How would you feel if they remade Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Or do you feel like that was what the damage control was supposed to be?
No, damage control was supposed to be something way different. Damage control could have been like a Parks and Recreation in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Just a whole bunch of guys working a 9-to-5 that they hate. And every time they're like, hey, looks like nothing's going to happen. The fucking Serpent Society attacked. We got to go clean up Fort Building. Like, I think that show. If they remade Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's a tough one, because I honestly think, how many seasons were there? 6 or 7?
I thought there was four, but let me see.
No, because Ghost Rider was season 4, I think. It was either season 4 or 5. Look, even
7 seasons.
Huh?
7 seasons.
So 7 seasons. Out of 7 seasons, I think only 3 of them are good. My personal opinion. And I'm giving it 3, but it's really 2.5, because the first half of the season with Ghost Rider was phenomenal. Then they went and told a whole different fucking story that I didn't give a shit about, and they came back. I don't think they need it, to be honest. I don't think we need, and I know this is something we've gone back and forth to fucking no end about. I don't think they need more content. I just think they need good content.
I would like for good content to be made.
Yeah. But like, I don't need another, hey, let's remake S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when we still have Armor Wars down the pipe. You gotta fuck the other make Armor Wars good. You got Ironheart coming down the pipe. not everybody. Ironheart is already going to start off in the negative.
As a woman?
No, because nobody really liked that character in Wakanda Forever. She was not a popular character coming out of that movie. So she's already starting in a fucking deficit. Make that show as good as you possibly fucking can. We got a Blade movie that is the world's most impossible movie to fucking write.
Word.
Like, focus on that. And then once, if you want to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., let's clear out what we have. Let's make sure everything, even if the shit's fucking bad, let's just make sure everything is as good as we could make it. Clear out the ledgers. And then we can worry about, all right, now that we've gotten all this other shit out of the way, what do we move on to?
What about a TV show that takes place in the 60s and 70s called Hail Hydra, where they show how they infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and all these other things throughout the years and shit like that.
That's kind of like the Black Widow movie. That would have been good 5 to 10 years ago. Doing it now, regardless of how good that show could be, doing it now is pointless. It's out of place. It's out of time. It's the same thing where I thought you were gonna say, what about a show taking place during the blip where we get to see the 5 years?
I was gonna say that also, but then I was like, yo, what if that's the premise of Blade? What if he was made in?
I mean, I think they ran past it. We've already moved on so fucking far from it that to go back is kind of pointless at this time.
How about this? Here you go. The movie The Blip, the TV show The Blip, 5 seasons. Each season is a different character. One of the seasons is Miles Morales.
I mean, again, if it's gonna be good, okay, but I don't even think they could bring in Miles Morales. I think Sony's got him locked into animation. So
which apparently they pushed that back again.
Of course, because Sony don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know what here's what I would take. Let's do a show about the blip. But it follows the 5 seconds of random people that were blipped out. You know how Elena was in the room and all of a sudden the room changed and she came back. It was a completely different fucking thing.
Yeah.
Let's do shorts, like YouTube shorts, a minute long, and follow some random people in interesting situations and some heroes that we haven't seen that got blipped out, and just see how they react to. They're doing something 1 minute and next second, like, what the fuck is going on? That might be something interesting. But again, I think we passed it. The time to do it was in the initial run of the Disney Plus shit. That was the time to strike with the blip. Instead of going all Kang all the time.
Yeah, that was
to be honest, that should have been phase 4. That should have been the palate cleanser. Phase 4 should have been, we finished the Infinity Saga. Let's show you what happened in those 5 years. That way we can get caught up with what this world is like now that everybody has come back. And then phase 5, 6, and 7, you move on to the next phase of your storytelling. Because you have the ending of Captain America and the Winter Soldier that teased a little bit about where the world is because of the blip. And now we're going to go into Brave New World and forget about that. We've already moved on. The world is established in a different way, and now we're worrying about different things. In the span of one TV show to the movie, we've already moved miles past. So I just get whatever we have in whatever's in the fucking tube now.
Yeah.
Squeeze it out, and then let's go buy a new toothpaste. That's how I feel right now.
I also would have liked to see them go more into the Wakanda outreach, because it didn't look too much like a Wakanda outreach when Wakanda Forever happened.
Well, I mean, that movie was a vastly different movie because of the circumstance.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, we could have went into that where, you know, that's where Ironheart got her shit, or, you know, we see a bunch of other smart people coming in.
Well, I mean, I think they're still doing the fucking.
Maybe that's where Reed Richard would have got his loan to go into space or whatever the fuck to study the quantum physics.
From Wakanda?
It's worth $10 trillion.
That would have been something interesting if they didn't put the Fantastic Four in some weird alternate reality. That could have been something. Where Doom now hates Reed and Wakanda because he was trying to form some sort of technological alliance, but Reed undercut it and showed T'Challa just how much of a bad person Doom is.
And Doom poisoned T'Challa?
Well, I was going under the assumption that we still had the Black Panther.
No, yeah, I heard.
Cool.
So there's speculation that they're gonna recast every other original Avengers. What do you feel about that?
Recast the original Avengers?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
To keep going with them.
Yeah. If they do that.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead, show.
No, I was gonna say what they're gonna turn them into the Power Rangers, where the characters change, but they keep the same colors. Like the person inside the shell is changing.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. I stopped since I keep up a little bit here and there with the stories and the major plot points, but I've stopped reading comics because the fans have ruled. They've deemed it. There cannot be any fucking change ever in any fucking increment. It always must be the status quo. So I stopped reading because nobody dies. None of the deaths mean anything. Every time we have something cool where we're like, cool, we pivoted from here, the fans are like, nah, fuck that. Bring back the old fucking dudes because we don't want the new shit. So we never fucking progress.
Yeah.
Hey, Marvel, if you want to recast and continue making the same fucking characters that already had their good endings and bring them back because you can't write new shit, then do it, but don't expect me to show up.
Don't bring him back.
And fans, if you're sitting here clamoring, hey, fuck the new shit, keep bringing back the old guys until they fucking die, Like, I'm not with you either. Was it nice to see Hugh Jackman back for Deadpool and Wolverine? Yeah. But that's because we finally got to see Deadpool and Wolverine together. We saw him in the mask. We saw him in the yellow. We saw him without sleeves. We saw him short. We saw him Henry Cavill. We got what we needed.
So one arm.
Yeah, we got it. If you told me tomorrow, hey, Marvel cast their Wolverine, Hugh Jackman is relieved of duty, I'm okay. But if you're gonna, again, there's an exception to every rule. The only thing I will accept is if you told me they're recast, because when Secret Wars comes out, there's alternate variants, and maybe we get to see Tom Cruise as Iron Man, as we thought. Emily Blunt as Black Widow. John Krasinski, probably not, but Jensen Ackles as Captain America. Like, all the other casts that were almost, if they come in as a cheeky fucking, nod to fan casting or nod to the casting that almost happened as variants in the movie, and it's a cool scene where we get the fucking, Spider-Man gets to battle a Tom Cruise Iron Man who's not the same Stark he knows. All right. That I'm okay with, because it's happening in that movie. There's a reasoning for it. And it's not too far out of the realm for what that movie should be. But to go forward, recasting and trying to continue with the original Avengers only tells me you have no faith in anything you were going to do post them. You had no faith in any of it, and you're stuck. And again, we had this discussion too, where you're on the side of having Marvel continue making movies, and I was like, yo, you won. You can stop. You don't need to keep going. We've already done it. We've done it. But if you're going to tell me that, Ray, let's recast all this shit and bring back Tony again and Steve again, then you failed.
What I think is happening is that we turned WrestleMania main event into a year-long storyline, and then said, fuck it, how can we do it like AEW? Because now we're just pulling people in for no reason. Like, I want them to keep making movies and shows because I like these characters, but you have to be able to sit here and go, okay, Daredevil is not going to face no quantum being. He's strictly for the streets. So let's set up the streets and let's let him do his thing. Punisher, same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the Ghost Rider. He's one of those people that are the spirit of vengeance. Let's get him with that shit. Like, let's put these people in their boxes and keep them in their boxes. And if we ever get them together, we got them together. But we don't need them to be together because, believe it or not, they don't all have to be on the same page. Like, we don't need fucking X-Force in the middle of Wakanda trying to figure out why Killmonger's still there.
Yes. Now, as people who read the comics and people who knows how comic books work, you're 100% correct. But for people who don't read the comics and only watch the movies, again, the problem with so much interconnectivity is you constantly run into an issue of the general public, like show, being like, but how come Cap didn't show up? How come the Avengers ain't showing up? How come nobody's helping this man do his thing? Is nobody else seeing this? I mean, Shang-Chi, Wong knew who the fuck he was and where to find him. But Shang-Chi had a fucking viral fight on a bus with a dude with knife hands. You mean to tell me that all the Avengers that were around at that time, I believe the Avengers disassembled, right?
That was after the blip.
Yeah. So the Avengers had disassembled. But you mean to tell me that nobody, no hero, saw that and went, he might need some help? They all went, he's got it. He's good.
Wong was sitting there watching his Murder, She Wrote, and then was like, oh, there's a fight going on. Oh, this is good. I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. He'll be all right. But this tomorrow, Agatha All Alone starts. You get the first 2 episodes. I believe what there's 8 episodes, right?
9
episodes. What you want to say, show?
9 episodes. What you want to say, show? I wanted to ask a question. Sorcerer Supreme. I know Doctor Strange is a part of the Avengers. Is Wong as well? Are they both?
So Wong has been or has fought with the Avengers before because of his association with Strange. I don't know if he himself has been an active member of the Avengers, because it's not like once you fight with them you're in, because Beast has fought with them and so has some of the X-Men, but Beast is an official member. Not all the X-Men are. So he might have fought with him, but I don't believe he is an official member. And again, that could have changed since the movies come out, because they're for some reason that some of the storylines now are trying to mimic what the movies are doing. So that could have changed. But as far as I know, he has not been an official member.
But he is the Sorcerer Supreme.
In the Marvel and the MCU, I believe, yeah. On a technicality, because Doctor Strange took a 5-second vacation.
Yeah, show. I wanted to ask another.
Say that again.
You wanted to ask another question?
No. I was gonna say. I was gonna deduce that if they do make another movie and Doctor Strange is on vacation, I'm guessing he has to take his spot.
Well, I mean, Wong's already the Sorcerer Supreme. So, Strange can do whatever the hell he wants.
I'll see. I'm intrigued on how they're gonna use them in the next Avengers, if there is another Avenger.
Well, so we know already that Avengers Doomsday, and I believe 2026. 2026, and then 2027 is Secret War.
Yeah, so there's at least 2 more Avengers
movies. Can't wait.
And yeah, so like we get 9 episodes of Agatha All Alone. It's not gonna be not crazy as to the MCU, but at least it's something that we get to watch. Hopefully they throw in something that's like talking about the Wolfman and the Man Thing, that whole shit over there, because wasn't the lady that turned everything black and white into color, wasn't she like a witch or something?
Oh no, she's like Blade, except she's not a daywalker of any sort. She's just another person who hunts all these things that go bump in the night. And the misconception, she didn't turn anything from color to black and white. The film itself just happened to turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was an aesthetic choice made by the director.
All right. So yeah, so That was the Knucklehead Comics. Tomorrow we have Knucklehead Sports, where we're going to talk about the Jets winning their first game of the season with Aaron Rodgers, the Giants being the only team in history to score 3 touchdowns, not give up a touchdown and lose, the horrific cut that happened in the UFC over the weekend.
Jesus Christ, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, show.
Last comment on the comic, because I know you sending it out. I was gonna say the last show that they made that wasn't a part of the MCU was one of the best shows they've made, which is Moon Shadow. So hopefully they do the same.
Wait, what was the name of the show?
What was the name of the show? Wasn't it Moon Shadow or something? Shadow something.
Moon Shadow.
Moon Shadow. Fucked up again. I done fucked up right before the show was over. I almost had it. God
Yeah.
darn it.
You almost went the entire show without fucking up.
went the entire show
Yo,
without fucking up.
we got to watch this Moon Shadow.
We gotta watch this Moon Shadow.
Yeah. Fuck Moon Knight. It's Moon Shadow
Fuck
now.
Moon Knight. It's Moon Shadow now. Whoops.
Yo,
My bad.
that's right up there with your fucking
That's right
Dark
up there
Side.
with your fucking Dark Side. Dark Side.
Yeah. And again, I don't know if anybody's still watching. But
I don't know if anybody's
we were
still
talking
watching.
about villains from DC, and this motherfucker said Dark Side, and had me sitting here flipping through my memory like, who the fuck is he talking? He was talking about Dark Side, but for some reason he decided to put that little fucking emphasis at the end. I was like, who the fuck is Dark Side?
Who the fuck is Dark Side? Yo, when I looked it up, it doesn't say side. Or maybe I saw it wrong, but it wasn't spelled SIDE. Maybe I misread it. Hey, it's sure enough.
Yeah, it's SEID.
I mean,
See, I knew something was.
yeah, well, apparently you don't know pronunciations, which is all right.
Hey,
So
fuck it though. Yeah.
I implore everybody to go out and try to find Moon Shade or Moon Shadow.
Yeah, Moon Shadow.
Come back, hit us up with your review. See what you guys think of Moon Shadow. It's out there on what is it, Redbox Plus?
Yeah.
It's on Fubu or whatever it's called. That free TV shit.
It's on all
Yo, all right. Since everybody want to interrupt my my closing, I had one more thing. So, remember in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they said Isaiah Bradley fought the Winter Soldier, kicked his ass, and ripped his arm off.
Yeah.
So somebody was saying, what if we get a glimpse of that in A Brave New World?
Like a flashback?
Yeah.
That'd be dope. I don't know. I mean, they could tie it in. Who knows? That'll be dope. That I've already seen some more shit than you have, so I'm gonna stay quiet because I know how you are with spoilers and shit.
Yeah.
So, and on that note,
Well,
tomorrow, sports. The woman who hit her really wanted to see what was on her opponent's mind. Split her open.
word.
Horrific shit. Thursday, what do you got on Thursday?
What do you got?
Huh?
I don't know what she hit her with, but I know she fucking busted her open on her eyebrow and her nose. Like there are 2 massive cuts on her face, like deep laceration. I showed the picture in the group chat. Yo, this woman, it's crazy. The cut, and Ray was saying how he's surprised they didn't stop the fight, but if blood ain't getting in your eye, They ain't gonna stop the fight.
Yo, that blood was. How can it get in the eye? It was the Grand Canyon forcing everything down this way.
Word. But yeah, so we got that on Thursday. We're gonna be talking about the new SmackDown logo. SmackDown's on the USA Network for
I like
wrestling
that logo.
topics.
That logo is nice.
It's clean. We're gonna be talking about more wrestling topics and stuff like that. And on Friday we have the Tone the Show. Hopefully, shows up. We got Ray in the comments now. Hopefully, your uncle's doing good, Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
no, you have Ray. You have more important things. Don't worry about it.
Word. And next week we have a very special topic. We will be reviewing very quickly the first 2 episodes of Agatha All Along, but we will also be talking about My Hero Academia versus Marvel Comics with Hero for Hero. So that's gonna be a good one. Crazy how last week's Raw and SmackDown ratings dropped again. Well, because they just keep doing the same shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean the bloodline is getting a little bit old, but that's the fault of Triple H for not building up anything to take the place of the bloodline once that story ran its course.
Word. So the people who rated us and Kick, appreciate that. All the viewers that came in, appreciate you watching and staying. We still have 44 of the 300 that was there.
Hey.
The people that we banned, congratulations. Fucked up.
You played yourself.
Yeah, like we're lighthearted people. We like to have jokes, but I don't do disrespect here. We're grown men. You ain't gonna disrespect us. You want to go play? You want to play those games? Go on someone else's channel. We got other things to do. But this is your place to be if you want to talk about wrestling, comics, movies, sports, life, love, and everything in between. Yeah, Cap.
I was just gonna say, for anybody who stayed, thank you. Come back again. Shit.
Yeah, don't forget to follow. And it's your friendly neighborhood knucklehead signing out. Peace, everybody.